Chapter 8, Section 4 is on radical notation, and today's going to be a really great day because the only thing that is different is the notation. So we have spent a lot of time last semester talking about x to the 1/3 or x to the 1/4, and the only thing that's changing is the notation. So instead of writing x to the 1/3, you're going to write the third root of x. Instead of writing x to the 1/4, you're going to write the fourth root of x, okay? X to the 1/2 would be the square root of x, okay? So the only one that's a little different is the x to the 1/2. So if there's no number out here, okay, you can imply that that is a 2. Otherwise, any other number, 1 over n to the nth root on the outside. So those power sheets that you had last semester, all those ones that were memorized, don't need to be memorized, but you will do better if you have them a little bit quicker in your memory. Okay, so part A is square root of 121. Okay, hopefully you remember the plus or minus 11. Okay, circle this, highlight it, square it. There is a plus or minus here. Okay, when you have an even number out here. Okay, so don't forget that. Okay, part B, the third root of negative 125. So what to the third power gives you negative 125? It's a negative 5. The fourth root of 256. So what to the fourth power is 256? That's 4. Again, that's even, so I have a plus or minus 4. Okay, biggest thing, remembering plus or minus, all evens. Okay, part D, the fifth root of 32 over 243. That just means you need to do the fifth root of 32, which is 2, and then the fifth root of 243, which is 3. Okay, that's an odd root, okay, so you don't do the plus or minus. Part E, a little different, okay, a little different. So you could do this a couple ways. You could say, okay, the third root of 8 squared is the third root of 64, and the third root of 64 is 4. Okay, that's one way to do it. Or you could do the third root of 8 first, and then square that. So the third root of 8 is 2, and then 2 squared is 4. Okay, so either way, you're going to get 4 there. All right, so example F, we can do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to take the square root first, okay, because it's going to make our numbers a little nicer. So I can do the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 64 is 8, and then raise that all to the third power. 3 to the third is 27, 8 to the third is 512. So your answer would be 27 over 512. Okay, usually it's easier to take the root first, okay, because if I did 9 to the third and then 64 to the third, it's going to get pretty big before I need to take the square root. Okay, so that's why I did the root first. Okay, and again, remember, if there's nothing written there, then it's going to always be a 2. Okay, then a couple other ideas that we're going to work on in this section is rational notation. Okay, so these ones want you to write them in rational, which means there's no radical sign. So how can I rewrite this? Okay, I can write that as x to the 12th, and then the third root is the same thing as the 1/3 power. Okay, and then always multiply. So 12 times 1/3 is 4. So that simplifies to x to the 4th. Okay, if you can't remember, that's always 12 over 1 and then multiply straight across. So what I did there was really 12 over 3, which gave me the 4. Okay, part H. All right, let's kind of think about this a little simpler here. First, remember there's a 2 on the outside there. Okay, so if I have the second root of the fifth root, well, that would really be the 10th root of n to the 6th, okay, because you're always multiplying. Okay, there's this big reminder here for a reason. So then I can rewrite that as n to the 6th to the 1/10th power. Okay, again, we're always multiplying. So put 6 over 1, so that makes that n to the 6/10ths, and you do need to reduce, that reduces down to n to the 3/5. Okay, so when you're writing rational notation, most of the time you're going to end with a fraction. Okay, so we had a 3/5 for our power here. The opposite of rational is radical. Okay, a radical sign, okay, looks like this. But instead of having 3 of them, like in example I want to only have 1 of them. So remember, if there's no number there, that's a 2, okay, and we're always multiplying. Again, there's a big thing down here. Woo, woo, always multiply. Okay, so I've got 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, so this is the 8th root of 10x squared. Okay, and it's as easy as that. We're just trying to simplify it down. Okay, example J is the fourth root of the third root of the square root. Again, we're always multiplying. So 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, so this is the 24th root of x to the 6th. Now, yes, I do realize that the 24th root of x to the 6th will simplify down, but right now all I want to do is rewrite it in radical notation. And then one final story problem that deals with all of this together, okay, is to take this formula and solve it for n, okay, in two different ways. So the first way we want to do it is in rational notation. Well, no matter what we do, we should probably put this over 1 and then cross multiply. So I'll get f equals k n to the third. Well, if I'm solving for n, the next thing I would want to do is divide by km. So now I have n to the third equals f over km. And now here comes the differentiation. So rational means a fraction, okay, or no radical sign. So that means to get rid of the third power, I would raise that to the reciprocal, which is 1/3. So that's how I would do it for rational. Radical notation would be say, okay, let's take the third root of that whole thing and then we're set. Okay, so rational fraction, radical means the square root symbol, for lack of a better word. Okay, that means you actually want that there. Okay, so today is a lot of review, just kind of a different notation. So hopefully you're okay with it. If you're not, you're going to be wise and you're not going to stop learning and you're going to write down some questions you still have and bring them to class tomorrow.